Yo, YouTube, what is going on? It is your boy Big Play Slay here, coming back with another video. Today's video, we'll be doing our first 7-round mock draft of the year. Alright, let's jump into it. First player on the board, pick 15. The Philadelphia Eagles select David Ojabo, defensive end from Michigan. Alright, David Ojabo is a defensive end from Michigan. As I said, high level, physical, defensive end. Played with Aiden Hutchinson. A lot of people say he's a product of Aiden Hutchinson. He's 6'5", 250. Light frame, I would say. Very talented edge rusher who can be a game changer on certain plays. This dude is just a monster. He makes a lot of things happen. I've seen a lot of people compare him to Robert Quinn, the defensive end of the the Chicago Bears. I think he has great speed for an edge. He's great in space. He accelerates well through his second and third steps. Decent length. That's something that they've had trouble with his frame. Great leg drive and balance. His flexibility is really good. David Ojabo, I think he can work well in this system because we're probably going to keep Jonathan Gannon, I would expect. But personally, man, I think some of the things that this guy needs to work on is his major punch in his hands and his light frame. That's something he can improve on. And his general awareness still needs to work. But yeah, I think if you put him in this defense, things can click quickly. And I think David Ojabo would work very well in our defense and next to Brandon Graham. So yeah, that is the first pick on the board. David Ojabo, defensive end of Michigan, the Wolverines. Alright, pick 16 is in. Pick 15, David Ojabo. With the 16th overall pick, the Philadelphia Eagles select Nakobe Dean, linebacker out of Georgia, the Bulldogs. Alright, Nakobe Dean, 6', 225. He's got great speed, physicality, his energy, of course. This dude gets from one side to the other side very quickly. He's good at beating blocks with his fast speed and his agility. The dude can run from one side to the other side, as I pointed out. You saw in the Michigan game, this dude was causing hell everywhere. He had this one interception, I believe, in the season where he took it. He was just reading the quarterback's eyes. And that's everything that I want in a linebacker. Now, you could say the Eagles should go with Devin Lloyd, and I wouldn't be mad at you. Devin Lloyd, he is a monster. I think that dude is definitely one or two in this class. But these guys can play football. But personally, man, I think Nakobe Dean fits what we're looking for in terms of an all-around linebacker. And with the rise of the quarterbacks in this draft, I believe he will fall. He's a great blitzer, I think. His work ethic, man, it's ridiculous. And he's just very good in man-to-man coverage with his ability to stop running backs because of his eyes and his great speed. So if we get a guy like him, all the negatives would be his frame and against bigger blockers. Like bigger blocking backs, like a Jordan Howard in the NFL. That's something he has to worry about coming into the league, facing up against bigger running backs and bigger blockers, like in terms of offensive linemen. But you know, if we put him in here, T.J. Edwards, that's your guy for like the key to the quarterback, and then you got your stand-up guy, get to the quarterback with Nakobe Dean. All right, so our pick is in. Right. Pick 15 and pick 16 are in. Now we go to pick 19. The Philadelphia Eagles select Kyer Elam, cornerback out of Florida. Alright, Kyer Elam, athletic cornerback out of the University of Florida. He's a very good athlete. He's 6'2", 193. He's a good outside cornerback, good in man coverage, good in press man. He's really good in zone coverage. He can fit all of those categories. I think one of the games that stood out to me just watching his film was the Georgia game. His zone coverage in that Georgia game and his press man coverage just impressed me the hell out. It just impressed me. Just based off of what I've seen, his athletic ability and his versatility on certain plays in coverage with the technique that he has, and his athletic ability with that speed that he has, it just showed a lot just based off of one game. And his football IQ is amazing. It's second to none. He has rangy size. Like, this dude is long. He's very long. Pause, by the way. But he's a good tackler, I would say. He's patient in press. He has great above average skills on controlling the ball when it comes to him, and he can high point the ball when he has to. He can make plays around the ball. I think one of his weaknesses is he tends to reach a little too much in certain situations, certain looks, in terms of like press maybe, and maybe zone, in like certain situations where he has to line up one-on-one, go press or man. He gets too handsy down the field, I would say. If he can work on that, this dude will work very well in the system. So there you guys have it. Pick 19, the Philadelphia Eagles select Kyer Elam. Let's go to pick 36. Alright, pick 19 is in. Now we go to pick 51. With the 51st pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Philadelphia Eagles select safety out of Texas A&M, Leon O'Neal Jr. Alright, he's 6'1", 210. Great high motor for the football. Able to play on multiple levels. He's able to react and use his ability because he's a strong tackler, and he doesn't give up too many big plays. When he wraps you up, you can feel it. He can sense the run before it really even happens. He always finds a way to stop running lanes from even happening. He's a physical tackler. He's a physical tackler and a physical player in general. He'll throw you on the ground and he'll just wrap you up. He doesn't give up too many big plays, doesn't give up any extra yards, yak yards, and we've been giving up too many yak yards. And I think this is one of the players you can get in your defense to limit that. And I think he would be a great pick here because, of course, the rise of the quarterbacks, of course, and just the fact that, there's going to be a lot of defenders in this draft and a lot of players in this draft on defense where it's going to be a deep class. If we get him, it's just going to help our defense a lot because we give up too much yak yards. And I think if we get a guy like him, we would be working very well in our defense. Now, I will say some of the bad signs about his play is I think his tightness causes him to round breaks and turns a lot. He's too inconsistent with open field tackling. And he doesn't always look to secure tackles. He just wants to wrap you up. But pick 51 is Leon O'Neal Jr. Let me know what you guys think. And we approach pick 83. So, Leon O'Neal Jr. pick 51, Leon O'Neal Jr. We go to pick 83. Pick 83, the Philadelphia Eagles select George Pickens, wide receiver out of the University of Georgia. Great height, able to consistently sink at the top of his routes. He's 6'3", 200 pounds. He's physical, competitive. He has the size and ability to get down the field, and you have to trust this guy's hands. He has a wide catching range with his long arms. As I said, he's a physical and competitive player. That also goes with the fact that he's a good blocker. Now, he has the right attitude. One of the main reasons our receivers haven't done the most best, just based off the last couple of years, and in general, is because of the fact that we tend to get receivers that aren't competitive and don't have the will and drive to keep pushing themselves to strive for the greatness. And I'm not saying George Pickens is the greatest receiver ever, not in any of that way, but he's a competitive player. I think he's way better than J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, just basing off of what I've seen from him, and I think he can, productively produce in this league. I think he would fit well in this offense because, one thing we are missing is a contested catch guy. And of course, we do need a big play waiting to happen type of receiver. That is something we're missing. But we need a guy that could just go up and get it, and we could rely on them. That's something Jalen Hurts trusts with Dallas Goedert. Let's get another guy at the receiver position. Now, I will say his burst is average. That's something he needs to work on. His route running needs to work on too. I don't think his route running is the best. If he can work on that, I think he'll be a great receiver in this league. You can deal with the press and stuff. Press corners will beat this guy a lot in the NFL if he doesn't work on that. But pick 83, George Pickens, wide receiver 2. Let's see. All right, pick 121 is in. All right, you seen it there. George Pickens, receiver out of Georgia. All right, now we go to pick 121. So pick 121. We take defensive tackle out of Arkansas, 6'6", 320, John Ridgeway. Great frame. He has long arms. We need some depth there at the defensive tackle position. Of course, with the demise of, Fletcher Cox in a couple of years. I wouldn't say demise because that sounds wrong, but I guess he's not going to be here in the future, is what I'm trying to point out here. So if we can get a guy like John Ridgeway with the flexibility and the movement, and that great size and ability just to truck offensive linemen, I think we can have something there because you already drafted Milton Williams. We need to stack up on that position because teams in the future here are going to start to realize it's not always pass. You need to start running the football more. And that's how teams dominate you. I think if we get a guy like him, you really can't run up the middle against us because his tall frame with his long arms is just going to bully any big running back or any small running back and just clothesline them or something. Because he's just a high effort pass rusher. His legs, he has big legs. And his length and agility for a guy his size, 6'6", 320, is amazing. His body strength, his great upper body strength helps him out a lot. He controls really any blocks. I would say his one issue is his below average foot speed. I mean, that's really going to happen with really any defensive player at the defensive line position when you're carrying all that weight. But, I mean, that's one issue with him, and his pad level gets too high sometimes after contact. But I think he can work well in this offense just based off of this defense, based off of what I've seen from him on certain plays on film at Arkansas. But that is pick 121, John Ridgeway out of Arkansas. So let's go to pick 153. you seen it there. Pick 153, John Ridgeway, defensive tackle out of Arkansas. Now, pick 153 now. Cole Strange, out of the University of Chattanooga. He's 6'6", 301 pounds. This dude is a freak of nature. I think we need some interior guards because the loss of, Brandon, Brooks, that already hurts you enough. Now you get a guy like, Cole Strange. He definitely helps us a lot. A lot because you have a guy like him. He's 6'6", 301 pounds. You need some depth there at the offensive line position in terms of just like the interior guard position, to be specific. His just athletic ability for a guy his size, with his lateral quickness and just his movement skills, with the weight that he's carrying, is impressive. He does an outstanding job with his running feet, just based off of how he, moves defenders out of the way, gets to that second level, first level, third level, does not matter. He'll push you out of the way. He's always attached his blocks, and he's a firm guy. He's one of those firm players that just uses his outside to strike any pass rushers. His physicality, of course, and his power definitely helps him out too, just to throw pass rushers out of the way. I will say he does have to work on his playing style that causes him to be lean. That weight that he's carrying definitely does affect him here and there. He doesn't reset too much or refit his hands inside quickly enough. Those are two things he can work on. But overall, this guy is a monster. I think we can get him here at pick 153. We get an interior guard for some depth pieces. And maybe he can start in the future. I don't know. But pick 153, Cole Strange. All right, let's get to the next pick. Right, pick 153, Cole Strange. Pick 161, the Philadelphia Eagles select Hassan Haskins, running back out of Michigan. He's 6'1", 220. This dude will maul you. Like, literally maul you. Even though he's not an offensive lineman, this dude, as he gets to the second level, you'll feel his power. Like, this dude is hard to bring down. You have to carry all your weight to bring him down. He has good height, size for his position, good tempo, and his patience is really good. That's something we need in a running back if we want to keep this running back by committee. Miles Sanders, he's injured here and there. I don't think his vision is the best. We need a running back that has good vision and a good tempo and waits for when he sees a hole, gets to that second level, keeps punching you. His lateral quickness for a guy his size, 6'1", 220, is pretty good, impressive. He's competitive. He's a good, tough player. I think he has an average burst. His long speed isn't the best, I would say. That's something he needs to keep working on. He's not always looking for the big play. He's just looking to get those chunk yards. That's something he might need to work on. Because they want two of those. So they want you to have that big play ability and for you just to maul the defense around for 60 minutes. That's one thing that we're missing in a running back. But I mean, honestly, man, if he gets into this offense, I think he would work very well. Especially with Miles Sanders. I mean, we're probably going to keep Jordan Howard, but let's say we don't keep him, we still need a guy for the future. I don't even think we're going to keep Jordan Howard personally. But if we do keep him, I still would get him just based off of the fact that we need a running back by committee if our quarterback doesn't develop his passing. If he does, we could still have the running back by committee and still lean towards it. Well, pick 161 is Hassan Haskins. Alright, let's get to the next pick. Alright, Next pick 165. Who I think you guys are gonna like this a lot. Pick 165. Tight end out of the University of Iowa State. We get tight end Charlie Collier. He's 6'6", 260. I think what we need is depth at the tight end position. Of course, we have Jack Stoll. That's one of our blocking tight ends. He can do work here and there in terms of catching. And Tyree Jackson, we've tried to develop him. I think his development has been solid. I don't think he's anything too special. We need depth there at the tight end position. This dude has been one of my favorite players to scout, just in terms of his size and his height for his position, and just his above average body control. He's a good route runner in intermediate and short spaces. And if he works in this system with Dallas Goedert, and Goddard has the troubles with the injuries, I think he can work well in the system whenever he gets his name called up. One issue with him is he has inconsistent hands. He drops the ball too much. He needs to catch the ball more consistently. That's something else with Dallas Goedert he needs to work on. But hey, we get Charlie Collier. Alright, next pick is in. Charlie Collier, pick 165. Last and final pick, defensive end out of Western Michigan. Pick 207, the Philadelphia Eagles select Ali Fayyad. As I said, defensive end out of Western Michigan. This guy is, I believe he's 6'2", 248. So he's around that 250 range. He's not an elite pass rusher like some of these defensive ends in this class that are kind of polished. I think he's in more of a 4-3 defense. I think we have that. He's not the most elite quickness type of defensive end. He uses his strength and his size and his strength just to take blockers out of the way and stuff. His versatility should push him into the top 75 picks. But personally, I feel like if we can get him here, that would be a steal of a pick. But that is the last and final pick of this draft. This could be the depth piece. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought of that mock draft. And your boy is out. Peace.